dreaming away in the land of Nod. But what happens next is the stuff of nightmares. The stuff that keeps mums and dads awake at night. Grace Hughes has vomited in her sleep for the 10th time this evening. It's a scene that'll be repeated thousands upon thousands of times.
It's all right, little girl.
A few years later, and the smiley little girl is now 5, but she's never, ever eaten a thing.
You try it? No. Please? No.
She lives off 1,200 mils of high-calorie milk a day. That's about the equivalent of 3 cans of Coke. It's fed straight into her tummy with a tube. There's no physical reason why Grace can't eat or drink, but she's flat out refused to from the day she was born. Have you ever forced her to eat?
I do it every so often. First time she just vomited up all over the place really violently. And I was so ashamed that I'd caused that. You know, it was just awful. I felt the world's worst mum.
No water, no food. But at this party she seems just like any other child.
You can choose.
Happy to clink glasses with mum.
Cheers. Are you going to do it?
And lining up at the party food table. But as everyone else tucks in, Grace will only lick a piece of popcorn and taste a drip or two of tomato sauce. It's hard to believe, but this is actually progress. As a baby, Grace was fitted with a nasal gastric tube so milk could go up her nose and down into her tummy.
It's all right.
Getting the milk into her was one battle, but having her hold it down was another. Her aversion to food was so bad, she vomited all the time.
She was throwing up, probably 12. We counted 12 to 14 times a day, just constantly. So you would just get her settled, and then she was just throwing up. So
constant changing clothes and bedding. And
she'd be lying in bed, and we'd have like about 14 sheets. And that, because you knew if you disturbed her too much, then she'd just be up constant. So you'd have her lying in bed, and then when she threw up, then you'd peel off a sheet, you know, and get her sorted, wouldn't you? Then you'd peel up another sheet.
Yeah. It's all right.
And it didn't take much to set her off.
And a friend of ours, a good friend, had their decking just oiled, and she walked past and smelt it and then just threw up. And then there was a TV where the kids were all eating an advertisement for pizza, and everybody was eating the pizza, you know, with all the cheese. And she'd only need to see it, and then she would be wanting to throw up like anything.
At least twice a day they'd drive Grace to Dunedin Hospital. She'd pull the tube out of her nose, and nurses would have to put it back in.
a number of times you have to hold it down. Like, you go and help them refit it, you'd have to hold it down.
Yeah,
just hold her arms and legs. She'd just kick and...
Grace's refusal to simply open her mouth and eat nearly tore her family apart.
It's been pretty hard on us, I tell you.
No.
It has been, though.
No,
it's been a breaking point. I can honestly say we've...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to pack up my bags. Yeah. There's times where you've said, too, that you just have wanted to come home.
Yep. Just away.
And sometimes when you go out, if you've had a bad time, you just sort of think, I don't even want to go home. Yeah. Yeah.
It was all so stressful, Grace began losing her hair.
You know, you just sometimes just burst out crying because it's just, you're so exhausted. Because from the moment you get up and then you're just constantly doing that, you know, like a nurse. Yeah. If it's not cleaning up sick or, you know, doing medication and organising feeding and that. And then it just never stops.
The trials of washing only ended when Grace had an operation to stop her physically being able to vomit. She also had a hole made in her tummy called a Mickey button, so they could get rid of the dreaded nasal gastric tube.